Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bears on Tap, a podcast about the Chicago Bears presented to you by On Tap Sportsnet. I'm your host, Brandon Suarez. You can follow me on Twitter at Bdon300, and you can follow my co-host, Quentin, at BucketStats. Today, obviously with the holidays, since we didn't have a recap episode, we'll get a little bit into last week's loss to the Buffalo Bills, 35-13, and then we'll take a look ahead to this weekend's matchup on the road at Ford Field against the Detroit Lions, divisional opponent. Game that you got to protect your kneecaps. And the Lions, I mean, after starting the season 1-7 or whatever it was, we were one of the teams that they knocked out on their winning streak. They have finally lost a game. They became human again. They became the Lions again last week. And we have an opportunity to maybe play a really good game, but hopefully not win it, right?
Yeah, I mean, they won 5 of 6 starting with that Week 10 game. I mean, they were on fire. Like they were averaging winning games like 31-21, and they're just playing good football. Like
Jared
if I'm being
Goff playing
honest,
good football.
last week was a surprise. Like I was all aboard the don't sleep on the Lions train last week, even as favorites. I was like, Panthers,
Yeah,
they'll handle the Panthers.
I took them too, man. I fell for it. I fell for the cheese.
But I mean, I do not know. Like, I haven't watched that game. I don't know what on earth happened with them, but like, they gave up 240 rushing yards in the first half to the Panthers. I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, they did get absolutely smoked. But other than that, how are you, my guy? It's been about a week since we've talked. We didn't get to talk on Sunday after the beatdown. Well, it's not as bad of a beatdown as 22 points as I've seen before. But
yeah, no, I'm doing good. I'm a little sleep deprived right now. Got up at 4 a.m. for a flight this morning to get back home, and here I am. So if I'm not making sense, just let me know, and I'll shut my tired ass up. But
yeah, but all right. So let's get into the game. We talked about it on the pregame show that weather was going to play a factor. It was going to be a weird game. It was going to be a tight game. Well, it was for about 3.5 quarters, and then the Bills pulled away. But the Bears rode off in the first half with the lead. They looked good in the first half defensively. They contained most of the stars on the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen threw for under 200 yards and threw 2 interceptions. So it's like in a season like we've always said on this show this year, in a season that we know we're really not going to be that competitive, you take those small wins where Kyler Gordon gets another interception, he gets one off Josh Allen. Like those are phenomenal things that are happening. And yeah, we're not finding results, but right now at this point, I don't think anyone that, wears the blue and orange on Sunday even wants to see wins at this point.
yeah, I mean, Kyler Gordon's looking pretty good all of a sudden.
I'll never say another mean thing about him, dude. I had to tweet it after he got the second one. Because the first one, you can say, okay, a fluke, right? Second one, okay, it was not a mistake. He does this shit.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he didn't do this in college. He only had one interception in college, if any, I think. But, I mean, he looks more comfortable playing outside. They're not playing him in the slot right now. He was just playing outside cornerback, and he wasn't having to flip-flop responsibilities like he had been all season. And it's got me thinking he might be a little better than we gave him credit for.
He's got that dog in him. And then Nicholas Moreau gets an interception. Other than that, we talked about in the pregame was probably going to be like a Monty game. We had no receivers, no EQ, no Chase Claypool. It was going to be a weird setup. Obviously, of course, Dante Pettis catches a touchdown. I want to say Cole Kmet didn't do that great again, which I'm not too happy about, but I could be wrong. Obviously,
I feel like Kmet's not a player who you're going to be able to count on to carry your receiving core. He's a guy who needs the pressure taken off him to succeed.
In the game that we had no receivers, our leading receiver was Velus Jones. And Velus also had a 40-yard kick return. He just looked like he looked like the Velus Jones that we thought we drafted, right? Or at least me, how excited I was.
He looked like a guy who got a few loafs last week and didn't want to repeat it.
Yeah. Hey, if Velus can give us plays like that, kind of, even if he's not a consistent player, not an every down player, if he's a guy that can go out and give us those flash plays on kick return and those flash plays in the receiver room, whether it's 3 to 5, 10, maybe 10 plays a game that he does that, I'll take it. Like,
Yeah, I'll absolutely take it. And he gave another play too. I mean, it was just like an 8-yard catch, but it was a nice route.
yeah, Scott, come
And the
ahead.
week before, you saw him quitting early on routes, and you saw him kind of moping here, like on a play or two, and it was just it threw off timing of the actual plays because, like on one of them, his job was to pull the safety deep, and he pulled up on the route early. Safety noticed, jumped down, and where the play was supposed to be was no longer open. Like
Exactly.
so that's what I mean by like probably got a few loafs in film session last week, and it's you'd like to see guys who can respond to that. So that's definitely a positive because he responded to it.
Yeah, and Scott here in the chat, Komet had a big drop that would have been a first down. Correct. I apologize. But yeah, I wanted to see more from him in that game. Pringle had a few catches. Fields really didn't throw the ball that much or run the ball. He only had 11 yards on the ground and he threw for 119 and a touchdown. So
Yeah, the Bills said we're not going to let you run.
yeah, we're not
We're
gonna
going
let
to make
Justin
you
Fields beat.
throw because we know you don't have anyone who can separate downfield consistently or do what they're supposed to consistently because your top 3 receivers are out, and it worked.
It's like, yeah, Fields, you're out here on an island just throwing to Amazon drivers. Just 5 Amazon drivers.
Pretty much.
I think though, like from a competitive standpoint, in a season that we're for lack of better terms tanking, it hasn't really felt like we've just been getting smoked every week, right? Like we talk about it, 22-point game, but it really didn't feel like we were getting blown out until the end. And then you're just
Yeah,
like,
it
well,
was all
yeah,
the fourth quarter is when it all
it's like please put
went
Nathan
to
Peterman in the
shit. But
game.
like honestly, there aren't a lot of game. Like even thinking back to like the previous teams that I saw, like in what was it 2016 when they went 3-13, they were usually in the game through the third quarter. It was the fourth quarter when everything fell off, except for the Eagles game that year. That was the only one that was like a blowout from the start. And the Packers game. Well, the Packers game was Mike Glennon, so that's
Doesn't
not
count.
real.
Yeah.
That
Mike,
wasn't a real thing.
wonder what good old Glenny Lof's up to right now. But yeah, I can't be too disappointed in this game. We played the best team in the AFC record wise and the best team in the NFC record wise in back to back weeks. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're not beating even the Lions. We're not beating anyone. Like we got lucky. We had a couple fluke wins, beat the Niners. That's sick. That'll be sick if the Niners go on to actually do something in the playoffs this year.
Actually, if Roquan Smith didn't make 2 plays, the Bears would be a 1-win team right now.
Yeah. And Roquan Smith's in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Certainly don't need a guy like that on our team, right? But yeah, and then
It is to make the Pro Bowl when you leave the conference that has Bobby Wagner and Fred Warner and Demario Davis and Levante David and the NFC's where all the linebackers are. It's easy to make it in the AFC.
I had to
Roquan, he deserves it, but like when I looked at that, I was like, I started looking at the linebackers in the AFC versus the NFC. I was like, no wonder he never made it in the NFC, but now he's making it in the AFC.
oh yeah. So I had to read this like 3 times to understand even what the hell Joey is saying. But say this in a line in your head, say what you see on the screen in like a Lion King voice.
Yeah,
Something.
yeah.
I don't know, Joey. You got to say that shit next time you come on because I'm bad with pronunciation and names. But we'll let the listeners do the. Savenya Calaveras, the Simba. There we go. Talk to me nicely.
There
Let's
you
go.
go.
But yeah, Joey coming in with the top rope Lion King reference with our receivers' names. And a couple weeks ago, I like what we saw in Simba Webster. I know he's definitely not like a cornerstone receiver guy, but in a year where you just need players to have jobs on your team, you have to employ people that are NFL players on your team. I don't mind having a guy like Simba Webster on our team, right? But
Yeah.
right now, very importantly, we lost another game. We have only 3 wins on the season, and like you talked about, the number one pick is still up for grabs. We're probably locked in at not going any lower than number 2, right? Like we're pretty much locked in at that because the Broncos won at
If
least
we
one
win a
game.
game, that changes, but like we control our destiny in the
Well,
draft order.
let's just hope the Vikings get smoked this week and have to play their starters the week after. You know,
So, really, at this point, it's pretty unlikely that the Vikings won't because Sam Fran has the Raiders with Jarrett Stidham starting this week. Sam Fran's probably going to win. Sam
yeah.
Fran can steal home field advantage from the
They're
Vikings.
scary, dude. San Fran, I can't believe we fucking beat them. I know they're
Right.
a
But
way
if the
different
Vikings
team.
lose a game, they don't get home field advantage in the division round. So they got something to play for no matter what next week.
It's true. All right, I like that. So Scott came into the chat. He said, "When the Bears get the number one pick, Cole should get GM of the year. If he doesn't trade Max Smith and Quinn, the Bears would be trapped in like a 7-9 win team. He made the hard decision in setting us up."
I
Scott,
mean,
yes, and no, but I will not call him the GM of the year.
I can respect the decision. I mean, I'd take like I don't know. I'm still kind of the mindset that you could have kept Mac and reshuffled the deck a different way. But once you traded Mac, I was worried that he wasn't going to go all the way. You know, that he was just going to take the half step of trading Mac and be stuck in that, 8, 9, 10 range in the draft because he still has Smith, Quinn. And I was worried that he wasn't going to take that full step of we're going to be bad
Yeah.
and we're going to go after a top 3 pick.
Yeah, and he said also that we are locked in for a top 7. So
Yeah.
willing to bet we'll stay under 5.
So if the Bears don't win another game, I think the lowest they can pick is 2.
Yeah, dude, I just don't know. Like the Lions need that game. The Vikings seemingly need that game. And are both on the road? Or do we play the Vikings at home the last week of the season?
I think that's at home.
Okay. I don't think it matters where we play. We could play on the moon. They still have Justin Jefferson.
The Vikings are like notoriously bad at Soldier Field.
Yeah. Yeah, and
For years now.
they just really haven't been playing their brand of football play.
Their brand of football is Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins light up the world.
Yeah.
That's what they did. That's all. It's just like best receiver in football and a good not great quarterback. Just go win games.
Well, this team that we play this next week is just a real grinded out, gritty team, right? Like they're not really a really talented team, right? Like they have a couple good guys. They have Jared Goff.
I mean, that offense is stacked.
Yeah, but defensively they get fucking smoked.
Yeah, defensively they are not stacked. Like their defensive line has some early round talent on it between Aiden Hutchinson and Josh Paschal, and
they got the O'Connell brothers.
They have 2 defensive tackles who are both second round picks. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but their D line has talent. They looked like they turned a corner until last week. Really, I mean, they'd been playing good football, and then last week it was just like, whoa.
Yeah, and I think maybe not necessarily on the show, but the Panthers may be terrible, but they know who they are. They're going to come in, they're going to run the football, and they're going to play good defense, and they're going to run the football some more. And that's what they did last week. The Lions couldn't stop them. You said they gave up like 200 yards in the first half?
Yeah, 240 rushing yards, 350 total yards.
That's what scares me, dude. We have an offense that can do that type of stuff, and we're playing indoors. The weather's not going to be a factor.
If I'm honest, with me rooting for losses right now,
we're going to win.
Like, I'm happy that this happened to Detroit last week not this week. I'm happy that they went back and watched a full week of film on how the hell did they do this to us, and we're going to fix it. Because if this game was a week earlier, it could have been the Bears coaching staff who did that, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, not that last week wasn't a must-win, but after losing another game, this one becomes even more of a must-win. Like, especially if they're trying to break that playoff drought, dude. The Lions, I can't. The last time they made the playoffs was, I think, Stafford, Megatron.
Yeah,
and I don't think I can name anyone else off that.
Jim Caldwell.
Maybe Jim Caldwell. Yeah, Jim Caldwell seems about right. But like a wild card team, like never really been successful. I don't think even if they got to the playoffs this year, anything would have happened.
Goff's been to a Super Bowl.
Yes, he has. Did not do anything in that Super Bowl.
Hey, he showed up.
Yeah, well, he did show up. He got off the bus, but he's been playing really good football this year. And the Lions are a team that, like I said, they're maybe not the most talented team, but every week they come to play for that guy that wants to bite your kneecaps off. They will run through brick walls for Dan Campbell, and they play above to their competition. Now, I don't think we're a team that has more talent than the Lions, even though I'm telling you they're not like an overly talented team. But it's still hard to stop Justin Fields. Monty's still going to go out there and do his thing. It's like, what are we going to get from the passing game, and how are we going to stop them on defense? But yeah, dude, my head is like, obviously, I always want us to win. But at this point, it's like, after seeing the Jets-Jaguars game, was it last Thursday? That was the Thursday night game last week. That game was the first time those two teams have met since the Jets decided they wanted to be a football team and ruin the draft pick. Now, obviously, it's not as big because we're not going after a quarterback, but I don't want to be one pick off in this draft. I want who I want. I don't know who that is yet, but when I figure that out, I'll let you guys know. Because obviously, this is the reason why we have the show. Talk about stuff like that, right?
Dude, I cannot explain how excited I was when I saw that the Texans won. And I had a bet on the Titans, and it was still like, just the Bears can get the number one pick. Like, it's possible now. The Texans just got to beat the Colts week 18. And tinfoil hat time, if you're Jim Irsay and you're saying, man, my Colts need a quarterback, you really want to let your division rival, the Texans, who also need a quarterback, have the number one pick? Or are you going to do some like underwater 4D chess here and say, we're losing this game no matter what, because we know we can jump the Texans for that quarterback now in the draft?
Dude, if you don't think Derek Carr is already in Indianapolis right now, you're crazy.
Dude, I don't think Ballard has another. I think he's on his last life there. If he goes after another veteran and they don't win a playoff game, he is gone, I think.
Yeah, dude. And also, I feel bad that Heineke got benched. That sucks. I just like Heineke. I like Heineke more than Wentz. But, dude, I don't even want to see Justin Fields play in this game because I honestly think Justin Fields alone, just knowing what he can do on the ground, he might have another record-breaking day, bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so.
Not that I don't want to see Justin do well, but after bitching all year about not getting a game-winning drive, you know what we're going to get this week? A fucking game-winning drive from Justin Fields. And I'm going to knock on wood and hope it doesn't happen for the sake of our draft. But it's just such a weird time. And honestly, a polarizing time where it's like there's probably very few people left on the ship that want, if any, that want the Bears to win this game or against the Vikings.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you can be rooting for a win right now when the number one picks in the combo. Like, you've come this far, suffer two more games, and you have like you have through April of like thinking of all the possibilities.
All the people, yeah. Well, I said it before we started the show. Ryan Poles will have an opportunity to build a literal fantasy football team this year.
Yeah. I mean, you can.
And this guy right here in the comment, or this guy that Scott's talking about here in the comments, we got ammo now. We got money. We have draft picks.
Yeah.
The Raiders don't.
So I think that the rumors all started from just a speculation tweet that I saw of like maybe they'll consider that. I don't think the way Devontae Adams' contract is structured, I don't think the Raiders are like he's the only guy among the contracts that they just gave out last
Yeah.
offseason that's like big bonus money that they would have to eat. And
Well, they
then
can't even fire Josh McDaniels because they can't afford it.
I mean, I honestly like this might sound crazy too. I think it's more likely Tom Brady's going there and Devontae Adams gonna be just fine playing with Tom Brady.
Could go there. I was thinking with Tua stuff, man, he could go to Miami too. And he
He
was trying to
could,
go to
but
Miami, but the collusion shit might prevent that. They might do the what was it, the Chris Paul trade in the NBA that got turned down?
yeah,
Yeah, that might happen if he tries to go to Miami because Roth
yeah,
he was on Stephen Roth's boat, dude. He was on the boat with him drinking
yeah.
margaritas and shit, talking about being a Dolphin.
But I mean, that was also before his boy Josh McDaniels was the head coach in Vegas.
It's very true. Yeah,
And also, like, if I'm trade and Devontae Adams is outstanding, but if I'm trading number one overall for a 30-year-old wide receiver, I need more than just a first back.
I need to
I,
make
I
sure
need a
he's not.
little extra.
I need to make sure he's not going to beat the absolute shit out of the team photographer.
Yeah.
All right, I got the injury report up for. I don't know why I didn't have it pulled up.
Oh
Already.
wait, let me roll through this real quick. This
Yeah,
is why I think the Lions are going to win this game. Lions are a top 5 to 10 offense by just about every metric you can throw out there, and they're a bottom 3 to 4 defense by every metric you can throw out there. Bears are a bottom 2 to 3 defense by every metric you can throw out there, and they're average to below average on offense. Like it just the math doesn't add. Like the Lions are the better
the
team.
math, not mathing, bro.
Like if the defense, like I love the over in this game because these are two of the worst defenses in the NFL, but one of these offenses is significantly better than the other. As explosive as Justin Fields is, him alone should not be more explosive than Amon-Ra St. Brown, DeAndre Swift, Jameson Williams, Jamal Williams.
They haven't even really used
Like,
Jameson Williams yet. They
no, but
haven't figured out how to.
I mean, he's got 2 touchdowns in like 3 games.
But they I'm talking volume though. That was a
Oh
guy
yeah.
that was catching
Oh,
like
and
10
DJ
passes.
Chark. DJ Chark's
Yeah.
the other guy. Like they got weapons on weapons over there, and they have one of the best O lines in football.
Yeah. It should be interesting at their place. That place is probably gonna be fucking bumping.
Yeah.
Dude. That's one of the biggest games that they've probably had there in a while. Division opponent. Last year's game was really down to the wire. If you remember, we kicked the field goal to win like 17-16 or something like that, like a super weird score. But they needed the fourth quarter of a lifetime to come back and beat us this year. The Lions games too they're just always close, you know. I think I don't even want to say it, but I don't hate like Bears +6 this week, even though it's absolutely filthy. I'll probably just take the over so that at least when the Lions score, like I won't be upset. Like I'll just be like, well, it's another another brick in the wall to the over. But
Man,
I think
if the Bears had any weapons,
yeah.
I'd be right there with you, but they don't. Like Claypool's going to be on one leg if he's playing.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't get into the injury report. So yeah, Claypool limited participant today. EQ again limited. Let me go through the full participants. So Tevin Jenkins was full. Justin Jones was full. Tevin being full is huge because we didn't have him last week. Cody Whitehair is also a full participant,
which is shocking. I thought
Yeah.
Cody was done.
Yeah, full participant. Limited on Wednesday, full today. And then the DNPs are Pettis, Sterling Weatherford, and Jatir Carter. And then Andrew Brown also was a full participant today.
So getting Jenkins and Whitehair back, maybe that helps in the run game. But honestly, I mean, I if I'm the Lions, I'm saying we're selling out to stop the run, and we're going to make their wide receivers beat us.
Dude, it's like if I'm the Bears, I'm almost just like playing on Excel clock for the rest of the season. Like, you know how in Madden you got Excel clock? I'm just like, dude, we have 120 minutes left of football.
Yeah. Luke gets that too.
Oh, yeah.
Justin Fields throws it like a 30-yard pass, and then it's run, punt.
Fucking Luke Getzey, man. Yeah. Luke Getzey is going to have to show me next year. I'll tell you that. But I think that all things considered, let's just enjoy Bears football. We only got 2 more weeks of it.
Yeah.
And then.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I am here to enjoy Justin Fields' highlight plays.
Yeah, no, we're going to get some of
watching
those.
him grow and watching him play football in general. I just hope it ends in a loss for the sake of getting, Carter and JSN.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty
well,
great.
And I think, too, though, the one thing that another positive that us as Bears fans can at least take out of this season is Fields got his smile back. And I know that sounds dumb as fuck, right? That sounds terrible, super meatballish. But he's having fun out there. He's making plays. He knows that he's getting better. And, yeah, he can't control the other 10 people on the field, and he can't control what the defense does. But what we wanted to see.
Was around week 3 or week 4 we said it on the show. It was like he needs to get back to having fun on the football field because it was not fun for him. It was not fun for us. Like you could see it was stressing. It was pulling on him. It was a weight on him, and he's having fun again, and it's great. Like,
God, didn't he have like a little hiccup with the media early in the season?
Yeah.
He said something. Okay, dude, honestly, he might have hit the kill switch after that. It might have been like right after that where he's just like, well, shit, I never slipped. He's never slipped up ever. And he has been in the media since high school with the show QB1. So he's always had a camera in his face.
Yep. I mean, he was. I mean, I still don't understand. Like, I don't know where like the workout videos came from and stuff after some of the early season losses and like struggles, but it was like, dude was running like full incline up a treadmill on a sprint, right? Like 2 hours after a game. Like, he didn't take the stuff light.
Yeah, and two, we've talked about it many times on the show. It's a guy that's never lost at any function or junction of his career.
Yeah.
He's always been a winner. So
we will get a Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence Super Bowl, and it will be beautiful.
Oh my God. It's just going to be the college football.
And then when they retire, there's going to be 30 for 30s made about them, and it's going to be I mean, it's written for Hollywood. They grew up 20 miles apart outside of Atlanta, number 1, number 2 quarterback in the country, go back and forth. They were both number 1 at one point, and then they go off to college, play each other in the college football playoff, go to the pros. They're going to play in the Super Bowl eventually. They're both going to go in the Hall of Fame in the same class. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I don't care. And
you said you were tired, man. You said you were tired. Dude, I don't hate it, though, dude. I love a good story like that. But so with Lawrence, man, let's take a moment to thank the New York Jets for being the New York Jets, right? Because not only – and the 49ers, too, because Trey Lance doesn't look like he's him. We'll see what happens. He's still got a lot of time to prove
who cares about Trey Lance when you got Brock Star Purdy?
Mr. Irrelevant. But we just somehow – it worked out in our favor, and I'm going to give Ryan Pace 2 thanks. 1 thanks for just having the nuts to move up, even though he's not with us anymore. That's a moment that may change this franchise forever.
Mm-hmm.
And then he signed my guy, the Rat Dog, this week, dude. The Rat Dog's a Falcon. Let's go. I wish he was a Bear, but congratulations to my friend, Clint Rakovich, fullback, signing with the Atlanta Falcons.
There you go.
Thank you, Ryan Pace. But, yeah, that's my moment of thanks for Ryan Pace. Probably the only time you'll ever hear that from me. But you have to give him his credit for drafting Justin Fields and doing what he did to move up and get him because, dude, another thing that we need to talk about, and I think we talked about it a little bit last week, we were very close to having Russell Wilson. And if we were this bad and we had Russell Wilson, or a year that we tried to go all in with Russell Wilson, just no. Like
that's so many different would have been last season. Russell Wilson on last year's roster.
So many different scenarios could have played out, and right now it's just we're a bad team. We're gonna have to take our lumps. We're gonna have to deal with it. We move on and we get to next season, and like you've said before, could be a year that we're competitive, maybe a wild card team, but at the very least, we're not going to look like this again next year.
No. I mean, the Bears are paying less than any team in the NFL for this roster. As far as like cash on this roster goes, it's like significantly less than any other team. This is a league minimum roster.
For the fucking Oakland A's, bro.
Yeah. But without the card counting.
Oh my god, dude.
It's just Justin Fields and like
we do have the spreadsheets.
All the minimum guys you can bring on.
Yeah, we do have the spreadsheets though.
Yeah.
We have the analytics and the analytics. But yeah, I don't know, man. Lawrence looked good and has looked good and is potentially leading his team to win a division. Obviously, a way different situation than Justin Fields is in.
I had that really 6-1 preseason.
Oh, that's great. I'm rooting for that. I will. Well, not 6-1, but I'll take the Jags week 18 for sure.
Yeah.
One good ride. The Cowboys just got us an interception. We're at 40 on the dot. No more points. We're good people. We have somehow both bet the same under at 40.5, and I'll let you know. I've never bet an under lower than 45 pre-game, so this is some real sick shit on Thursday night. But all right, so what are the numbers? So we talked about for the numbers for this game. So I said the line was 6. What did you say the over/under was for this game? It's got to be
52.
Like, 52. Oh yeah, 52. Oh, that's such a high number for an NFL game too. It is, but shit's probably still hitting, to be honest. Oh, also too, this will be the last show of the year, and we'll get our first Bears game of 2023 out here on Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because it's the new year. It is the last show of the year. It is the 29th, and we'll probably be here on this 30th, 31st. But to all our listeners, Happy New Year! Thank you for bringing in the new year with us. With an absolutely awful Bears team, but you know us as Chicago fans, we got to deal with it, right? It's just the name of the game.
Hey man, if it gets us the number 1 pick, we can deal with it.
Yeah. So, what do you think for players of the game? So, who do you think has the impacts that we need to see to potentially play a really good game but not
win? On defense, I'm sticking with Kyler Gordon. Yeah. He's on the heater right now, riding while he's hot. On offense, it's got to be Chase Claypool on one leg.
Chase Claypool, Greg Jennings from Madden.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that video?
Team on his back.
He put the team on his back, though. All right. Well, what did it say? He's a limited participant. Was this week? Let me check. He's limited. He didn't practice yesterday, but he's limited today, which makes you believe he's probably took yesterday off knowing he was going to play this weekend and just gave it a little bit of a go today, but I don't hate that. What do you think defensively, though?
Kyler Gordon on defense.
Oh, Kyler Gordon. Yeah, you said that. Yeah. Okay. For me, I go back to the well, dude. I'm going to Cole Kmet. I don't know why, but I think that
having Claypool out there will open stuff up for him.
They're going to send a lot of pressure, I think, at Justin Fields this week. I think that
they're one of the heaviest blitzing teams in the league.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities over the middle of the field for Cole Kmet to make plays, get yards after the catch, and just kind of make the plays that he hasn't been the last few weeks. I'll say over 50 yards and a touchdown at least. Bdon stamp of approval. I'll make a same-game parlay with it. But other than that, defensively, I'm gonna say Jaquan Brisker.
Yeah,
because I think, dude, if you've watched Goff over his career, that's a guy that is kind of fearless. He'll throw that bitch over the middle of the field. He'll leave it up for the safety to come down and grab. And I think that, with all the attention that's been paid to Kyler Gordon over the last few weeks and him still making the plays, I think Brisker's just licking his chops, ready to come down with an interception. So I think he snags one this week.
Yeah, I can see it. And this is like, from the offensive standpoint, this is probably the worst defense the Bears have played all year. Like, tied with the Lions in Week 10.
Yeah,
Like the Falcons might be close, but the Lions defense is pretty, like the numbers are not pretty for them.
yeah, and I think too, what they give up last week was it 37.
It was 40 something, I think.
I mean, even the
Or
games,
no, it was 37. Nail on the head.
even the games that they win, they're giving up a lot of points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you have for score prediction?
I got Lions 31, Bears 24.
Okay. Just enough to cover and just enough for the over. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll say. Let's say 31-30.
Oh,
I don't know.
same as week 10?
Yeah, dude, I think it's going to be a scoregami weirdo, like 31-30. Yeah, that's crazy, too, that was the exact score. Cairo, if you miss a kick this week, bro, you are being left on 8 Mile. You're not coming home with us, okay? Can we make that clear? You're inside. There's no wind. There's no snow. Make your kicks. Earn your keep. Because, yeah, hindsight, actually, thank you for missing that kick, because that would have been yeah. I'm sorry, Cairo. I didn't mean that. But
Cairo has been the tank commander.
Yes. No, Cairo's a wagon when he wants to be, but this year I don't think he has wanted it as much as he has in years past. But other than that, I think offensively for this game, if we can get a healthy Chase Claypool, I want to see that first real breakout game.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to say he's going to be my player of the game, but I think that it's important for him in these final 2 games of the season to find a game like how I saw him and witnessed him at Notre Dame. I need to see Notre Dame Chase Claypool. Steelers Claypool was all right. He also had Big Ben as his quarterback. That's kind of tough to deal with. Big Ben was not great at that point of his career when Chase Claypool got there.
I remember his rookie year, it was like they designed a lot specific for him, I thought. And it was like he was blowing up everywhere and he was getting all this, PR out of it. But it was kind of like when you watched it was like, well, yeah, they're designing this stuff for him. It's not like it's fluid within the scheme. They're like, this guy's a freak. We're going to get him the ball, which is still like, props, but
I think that
you're not going to get that as a second option on a team.
They drafted Claypool and Deontay Johnson is what they wanted Claypool to become, if that makes sense, right? Because Deontay Johnson, dude, he gets like 8 to 10 catches a game. He's doing all sorts of shit. He's always, up there 75, 100 yards a game. And I think that at least from what I remember from Claypool, man, at least in college, he had Ian Book as his quarterback, right? So not the greatest quarterback. Dude, he just got it done on the deep ball, bro. Like the 50-50 ball, he's a basketball player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he just gets up there. And I honestly look forward to Fields and Claypool somehow getting that under wraps. Because if I can watch Ian Book just deliver fucking moonshots to Chase Claypool, you're telling me Justin Fields can't? Absolutely not. I don't care what scheme or who else is in the offense. It's going to happen. But, all right, fuck it. Give me Claypool and Komet to both score. It's an over game. There's going to be a lot of points. I think they both find the end zone this week. Why?
Here's something interesting. So his or actually, wait, no, that's his yards per target. Hang on. So his average depth of target with the Bears so far this year has been 8.4 yards, lowest of his career. As a rookie, it was 13.2 yards. Second year, it was 11.4. In Pittsburgh this year, it was 9.5. Now it's 8.4. Everything is super short for him with the Bears, and that's not his game.
Yeah, like I don't want to see us throwing, this is an interesting part about Chase Claypool. He's got 4.4 speed, but you don't have 4.4 speed on a bubble screen, bro. It's not the same.
Yeah. Yeah. He has long speed. Like he doesn't have the quick step acceleration.
Yeah, he's not Tyreek Hill. You throw him on a go route, and you'll see that 4.4 speed. You'll see that athleticism for him to go up there and get a ball. But yeah, what they've been scheming up for him hasn't necessarily been the best. I don't hate the end arounds. The end arounds work for me, to be
Yeah.
honest, because he has a little bit of build up. But yeah, want to see stuff from him. I don't think EQ ends up playing this week, and I don't know if we've quite frankly seen like enough, but like maybe he could be a wide receiver 4 or something like that next year, depending on who we pick up. But yeah, just don't get absolutely dusted for the first game of the new year. Like give us some good moments. Don't win it, but give us some fun on Sunday. Is all I'll say.
Yeah. I'm here for a thriller that ends in a Bears loss.
And over 52 points.
My group chat's just going off with everyone freaking out that Bears are going to mess this up and win a game.
No, that's what I've been thinking all week, dude. I'm scared. I've never been more scared that we're actually going to win a football game. It's ridiculous to be sitting here as a full-grown adult thinking like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what 20 to 24-year-old are we about to just bargain the future on? And I'm about to just go nuts when we draft them on the live stream this year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that's the state of the Bears right now.
I'll take it.
Jalen Carter over everything, right?
And that's the way I see it. If you're at number 1, though, you got it. Like,
it's either
if you're at 1, you can like theoretically
you could trade a million times.
You can trade to 3 and still get Jalen Carter. You know, like unless the Texans are going to take Jalen Carter, like which they need a QB, they probably really like Will Anderson too. Like, if you're at 3, you're going to get one of Will Anderson or Jalen Carter still.
It's either Jalen and Jackson or Jalen and Quentin.
Yeah.
What's his name, right? Quentin Johnson?
Yeah. Well, so for Quentin Johnson, you probably need to be in the top 12 again, and I don't know if they'll be able to do that.
You think Smith and Jigba's like probably mid to late first?
10 to 15, like, so maybe he falls a little more than that to 20, but like, because Smith and Jigba he's a slot guy. You know, he doesn't have the versatility to play outside exclusively.
I don't know if I want another. I want more of a possession guy. You know. Well,
everyone always wants a possession guy.
Maybe we could get from Claypool then.
I want the guy who runs the best routes you see on tape because he's always open.
Yeah.
You don't need to make catches if you're always open because your routes are good.
He's not playing in the college football playoff. I know he hasn't really played much this year.
Yeah, he's had a hamstring injury.
Bears fans, we have a homework assignment for you. Before you watch the game this weekend, tune into that TCU game. Take a look at Quentin Johnson because that dude is a dog. That's a guy that
dog.
Dog. You ever seen that video where the high school lineman dog?
Yeah.
Look at stats, dog.
Love that.
That
video.
That video is fucking incredible. Mike Vrabel is an honorable man, not calling any timeouts and making the Cowboys punt with 2 minutes. But yeah, do you have any wrap up thoughts for this one? You got 31-24. Because someone has to play devil's advocate and think that the Bears are actually going to win. I said 31-30 Bears. We get the better of them by a point this time. Hopefully not, but someone has to. I'll be the sacrificial lamb. But do you have any more wrap-up thoughts on the beatdown with the Bills and the look ahead against the Lions?
Nope. That covers it for me.
Well, that was...
Oh, wait. Actually, no. I did have one thing. So, did you know that Bears-Lions is the longest running rivalry in football?
No way. How many years?
Since they have played every single season since 1930. Jesus. The only reason the longest running rivalry is not Bears-Packers is because in the strike season in 1982, they didn't play each other, but the Bears and Lions still played each other.
That sounds like such a Bears-Packers thing, not play each other in the strike season. Just like Curly Lambeau was just like, no, fuck that.
Let's see. I got one other.
Papa Bear was like, no, fuck that.
Did you know that there was no playoffs or championship game until the Bears and Lions forced one. So in
Really?
1932, the end of the regular season, the Portsmouth Spartans, also known as the Detroit Lions, at the time they were in Portsmouth, Ohio, though,
Yo, that's not a real team. The Portsmouth Spartans.
with the
Jesus.
record of 6-1-4, were tied with the Bears atop NFL standings. The Bears were 6-1-6. So
Is
some
the third
thrilling
number a tie?
football
Is the
back
third
then.
number a
Oh yeah,
tie? Oh
yeah.
my god.
So at the time, ties were not considered in a team's win percentage. There were no playoffs. Champion was just whoever had the better win percentage. And if they were tied, whoever won the head-to-head matchups. But both these teams tied each other in their head-to-head matchups. So there was no it was just what you split it.
It's like, yeah, with the head-to-heads, we'll look at the win-loss. They just tied every time they played.
So since they were just at a stalemate, the NFL staged its first ever playoff game. The game was supposed to be played at Wrigley Field, but it was moved to indoor Chicago Stadium because of severe weather. And if you've never looked up this, there's a guy called Jaguar Gator 9 who makes YouTube videos and Reddit posts. He has an incredible one. I think it's either him or Zappo-Matic on Reddit who has a story about this game and just like the ridiculousness of it. Like that they were at halftime, they brought out like circus acts, including elephants who like destroyed the field, and the players had to go back out there and play with this like elephant turds all over the field and the grass all ripped up on this indoor dome in the 30s when there were no indoor domes. Like it's just hysterical.
That place must have stunk too, dude.
If yeah, people were just like leaving the stadium because they couldn't take the smell. So there were modified rules because the stadium was smaller than regulation size. And the Bears won 9-0 to claim the NFL title. It proved so popular that the league created two different divisions and decided there should be a championship game every year. So thank you, Bears-Lions rivalry, for creating championships.
Dude, that's a game. You know the Sickos Committee on Twitter?
Yeah.
One of my favorite accounts to follow as a fellow sicko who just cashed a bet with my friend, 27-13. Cha-ching! But yeah, like 9-0. You got elephants shitting out there at halftime. Like that's Maction before Maction, dude. If you think about it, if you really think about it,
the NFL in the 30s was Maction, 100%.
Oh yeah, and they
no
were all
rules, just figuring it out as you go.
They were all like puffing heaters at halftime, and they all had regular jobs. Like the NFL was like their side job. Yeah,
there were stories about like players got paid on like a per game basis. So, and there were no like rosters or anything. So, a player in like, what was it? Say that a player was in Philly. They could play a game in Philly, take a train up to Boston, play a game in Boston for the Boston team, go up to New York, play a game for New York on the New York team.
No like free
agency, get paid 3 times in like 1 week. There's no rosters, so it's just like whoever you got. It's like a pickup game,
dude.
And they're getting paid like $200 a game or something like that at that time. You know, it's a lot of money for like, you know, just going and playing a game is the way they saw it. I remember I was watching a video about like the history of football. It was some dude who played back then. It was like, I needed to buy an engagement ring, but I couldn't afford one. So I just played 3 games in 2 weeks for 3 different teams. And then I went and bought an engagement ring.
Dude, could you imagine? We were born in the wrong era, bro. Podcasters now, dude, we could have been receiver and running back, bro. What are we talking about here? We were born in the wrong era.
Any walking, living, breathing body, I think they take. So
yeah. Oh my God, that's the wild, wild west, though, if you really think about it. But yeah, I think all things considered, Bills game didn't go as bad as we thought it did, despite the score. The non-cover, I should say, was kind of heartbreaking. I thought they were really going to cover in that one. But looking ahead at this Lions game, kind of like we talked about, 2 terrible defenses, 2 offenses that can put up points. One of the few games at this point of the season where the weather is not going to affect it at all. Should be a shootout. It should be a fun game. And like we've said the last few weeks, man, like Please nobody get hurt. It's not worth it. Yeah, knock on wood or knock even louder.
Yeah.
But let's just get through the rest of the season healthy. You got 120 more minutes of football. We're for sure going to go to overtime after saying that. And let's rebuild this team, man, the right way, right? Got
Yeah.
to. It's the only thing we can do. And hopefully I can sit here on this show a year from today and say I am thankful to be eating all my words about Ryan Poles. But this is one of the biggest off seasons in Bears history, and be happy to be here to cover it for you. But enough is enough. We talked, like I said, a little bit of the Bills game, a little bit of the Lions game. Quentin, you got any wrap up thoughts before we ride out?
No, I think I ran enough about 1930s football
Dude,
already,
now
so I'm
listen.
good.
When when the Alamo Bowl is over, when Washington Texas is over, I'm gonna crack some YouTube videos of the history of
Yeah, I'm
football.
gonna
So,
see if I can find the like one of the write ups or videos on it. I'll put it out. I'll tweet
yeah,
it out on under
send it to
this.
me, dude, because I love learning about like all the old school football players and all that stuff. So it's
It's
always
insane, man.
I'm
It
a
was a
super
different
nerd.
game.
Yeah, so get your leather helmets ready. Make sure to crack them on Sunday. We'll be with you guys right after the game finishes on Sunday afternoon, probably about 3:15 to recap. I don't even know how to say this because I'm not going to say a recap. Hopefully, a Bears win. To recap, hopefully, a great game where both teams have fun and combine for 52 or more points. But other than that, we really appreciate you for joining us on this evening's show. And we really appreciate you for joining us all year. Have a happy new year, Bears fan. Have a happy new year, Bears fans, and bear down.
Bear down.